Now we'll mark an area for excavating the trenches. Mark the center line of the trenches with spray paint by spraying along the strings. From the string joining pegs D and E or F and G, measure back into the pool a distance of 36 inches or 91 centimeters. Mark the ground 3 inches or 75 millimeters on both sides of the center line. Then measure 4 inches or 10 centimeters to the outside of the pool from the string joining the corner pegs and mark the ground 3 inches or 75 millimeters on both sides of the center line. Using the 2x4 as a straight edge, join these marks with the first ones you made. Now measure 10 inches or 25.5 centimeters on both sides of the center line and mark the earth with a screwdriver or metal peg. Measure to the outside of the pool wall an additional 20 inches or 51 centimeters and again mark the soil 10 inches or 25.5 centimeters on both sides. Join all your marks to form a square. Repeat this for all the other buttress trenches you have marked and excavate the trenches to a depth of 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters. Dig carefully so as to avoid disturbing the ground around the edges of the trenches. Spread crushed limestone into the excavated trenches to a depth of 3/4 of an inch or 19 millimeters. Dampen lightly with water and tamp the limestone firmly into the bottom of each trench. Replace the strings joining pegs D and E and F and G. Place a 12 by 12 inch or 30 by 30 centimeter patio stone 2 inches or 5 centimeters thick into the wide part of each trench. The front edge of the patio stone must be exactly 4 inches or 10 centimeters from the pool wall line marked by the string, and the patio stone must be level. Ensuring the patio stone is still 4 inches or 10 centimeters from the pool wall, pack crushed limestone to a depth of 1 inch or 25 millimeters around the patio stone and down the trench. Measure from the string into the pool a distance of exactly 32 inches or 81 centimeters. Put in enough crushed limestone, slightly dampened, to create an even slope from this point exactly up to the surface of the patio stone. To check whether you have created these trenches properly, you'll require one base U-channel. The base U-channel has a continuous metal flange, while the upright channels have a section of this flange cut away. Place the base U-channel in the trench and line up the end of the channel with the outside edge of the patio stone. Measure down the base channel a distance of 45.25 inches or 115 centimeters. Use a marker to indicate this measurement on the base channel. Use the chart on page 12 of section 1 of the manual to select the proper size of wooden block to use. For our pool, we need a piece of wood 1 inch or 25 millimeters thick, placed exactly on the line we marked. Now place a 4-foot carpenter's level on the base channel, exactly aligned with the end of the channel, and rest it on the block of wood. If the trench is built correctly, you will have a perfectly level reading. In addition, the channel will be exactly level with the ground at the point where it passes under the string joining pegs D and E or F and G. If it's not, remove the base channel and adjust the patio stone and limestone until these conditions are met. Now it's time to assemble the buttresses. Place 2 T-plates and an L plate together as shown, making sure you have the radiused edges of the T-plates facing away from the open side of the upright U-channel. Lay these plates over the base channel and fasten loosely with 1-inch bolts and nuts through all the holes in the upright. The bolts go in from the outside and the nuts go on the inside just finger tight. Repeat this on the other side of the upright U-channel. Insert the upright U-channel with plates attached into a base channel, making sure the open side of the upright faces the longer portion of the base U-channel. Insert bolts through the base U-channel and plates from the outside, with the nuts again fastened just finger tight on the inside. Now with a 3/8 inch socket or open end wrench, tighten the nuts and bolts in this fashion. Pressing the T and L plates tightly against the upright, tighten the 8 bolts on each side of the upright. Next, tighten the 4 bolts on each side of the base channel, which are closest to the long end of the channel. As you tighten them, be certain to leave a 1/16 of an inch or 2 millimeter gap under the tab at the bottom of each vertical U-channel to accommodate the bottom rails. Now tighten all the remaining nuts and bolts securely and assemble all the other buttresses in the same manner. Place the assembled buttress into the buttress channel, aligning the back edge of the patio stone with the end of the U-channel. You may want to prop up the base channel temporarily as you complete the next few steps. Find the buttress base rails in your hardware kit. These rails are color-coded or identified by part number specifically for your pool size. Insert a buttress rail between each set of uprights. Notice that the closed square side of the rail, not the grooved side, slides into the notch at each buttress upright. Fill the base U-channels and the trenches they sit in with crushed limestone. Ensure the space under the end of the base U-channel is filled with material. While standing on the base U-channel, lightly dampen the crushed limestone and tamp down tightly. Don't tamp too hard to avoid moving the buttress. Recheck the distance between each base channel to ensure they are properly aligned. This measurement should match dimension N in the chart on page 10 of section 1, which is 59.5 inches or 151 centimeters for our pool. Add a small piece of duct tape to the top edges of the verticals. This will prevent the upright from scratching the paint on the pool wall as you install it. Mark out an area 16 inches or 41 centimeters wide on both sides of the buttress trenches and excavate this area down to exactly even with the top edge of the buttress base U-channel. Also dig a shallow trench 3 inches or 8 centimeters wide to the depth of the end of the base U-channel from one side of the pool to the other. Drag one of the hold-down plates along the top edge of the buttress base U-channel to ensure the soil in the excavated area is completely even. If not, add a bit of crushed limestone tamped down and check again with the hold-down plate until the area is even. Slide 4 nut clips onto the end of each base channel so that the clips line up over the holes in the base channel and the threaded part of the nut clip points down. Place one end of a hold-down strap on top of a strap bracket. Place 4 3/4-inch bolts through the strap and the center holes of the strap bracket, and fasten with 4 nuts underneath the bracket. Tighten with a 1/4-inch socket or wrench. Place the assembled strap and bracket over the end of the buttress base channel. Thread 4 bolts through the strap bracket into the nut clips and tighten snugly. Do not over-tighten these bolts. Now connect the other end of the strap in the same manner, and repeat for all the other hold-down straps. Spread 3/4 of an inch or 19 millimeters of crushed limestone into the area you excavated along the buttress trench. Do not put any material over the base channel. Position a hold-down plate over the base U-channel so that the bolt heads in the strap and strap bracket are covered by the first 2 grooves of the hold-down plate. Applying downward pressure on the hold-down plate, shift the plate back and forth until it rests tightly against the top of the base U-channel. Check to see that the outside ends of the hold-down plate are completely filled with crushed limestone, and fill any voids you see. Filling these voids will prevent low spots forming around the hold-down plates when the pool is filled with water. Fasten the plate to the base U-channel by lining up the holes and using 2 self-tapping screws. Take the second hold-down plate and overlap the first flange of this plate with the first flange of the plate you've already installed. Use the same back and forth motion to fill the voids with crushed limestone. Fill any voids around the edge of the plate and fasten with 2 self-tapping screws. Complete this step for all the other base channels. If your pool, like ours, has 3 buttresses, you'll have to remove the middle stake and fill the hole with compacted material. Leave the 2 end stakes for the time being. Join the straps you've installed with additional straps to join the 2 sides of the pool. Put the bolt heads through the top of the straps and the nuts underneath. Cover all the bolt heads in the straps and hold-down plates with strips of duct tape. Locate the transition rails. These are color-coded or identified by part number specifically for your pool size. The transition rails are the first rails that attach to the buttress verticals on the round ends of the pool. Slide the closed square end of the rail into the notch in the vertical with the grooved side up. Add a base plate. The rail slides into the plate with the wide side of the plate facing away from the pool. Insert an end rail into the other side of the plate. Leave a 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter gap between the rails. These rails are identified by part number. You can keep the rails from slipping out of the plates by bending 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters of the lip outwards with a pair of pliers. When you have all the base rails and base plates installed, mark an area under each base plate, approximately 12 by 12 inches, 30 by 30 centimeters. You will build a crushed limestone pad or place a patio stone in the ground under each base plate to add stability to the pool wall. Set the base plate assembly aside and begin installing the crushed limestone pads or patio stones. These pads must be level with the surrounding earth. Use a surveyor's transit to ensure each pad or patio stone is level with the next, or check the level using a 2x4 and carpenter's level. Then reassemble the rails and base plates. If you're installing a styrofoam base, now's the time to measure and cut the styrofoam sheets. Slide the ends under the base rails so you can easily mark the radius. Then cut the sheets, marking the location of each sheet so it can be easily reassembled later. Remove all the pieces of styrofoam. Locate the vertical clips. These are joined together in left and right pairs. Gently snap them apart. The clips are marked with an L or R to distinguish them. These are fastened to each base U-channel. Left is to the left of each vertical upright as you face into the pool. Use a cordless drill to fasten the clips to the base U-channel with 2 self-tapping screws. Use the pair of holes marked A for most pools. Consult diagrams 15 and 16 on page 3 of section 2 of your manual for directions on when to use the pair of holes marked B. To check, place one of the vertical columns over the clips. If it doesn't fit, move the clips to the other set of holes. Cover all excavated areas with enough crushed limestone, tamped lightly, to bring it up level with the surrounding soil. If you're using sand for your pool bottom, remove one section of base rail and bring in a load of sand sufficient to cover the bottom to a depth of about 2 inches or 5 centimeters. Don't spread the sand all the way to the base rails yet, but smooth it out enough to ensure you have sufficient sand to do the job.